Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of eBay Business Owners. I have Ty Blunt here joining me to talk about a very important topic. And the topic is eBay going to die a death of 1,000 cuts? Ty, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you sell, how long you've been doing it?
Yeah, how's it going, guys? My name is Ty Blunt, founder of With Ease, an estate company. We're also a major reseller, or one of the largest estate companies in Arizona. We sell everything from a helicopter to cars to rare paintings, down to the shoes, down to the clothes that people have. And we're also building a couple pieces of software to help you guys out very soon. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Guys, we just want to point out that there's like not one single platform that's going to take eBay down. eBay is huge, guys. I don't think you guys understand how big eBay is. It has 1 billion unique visitors each month. That's insane. Like, people are talking about, is Poshmark going to take over eBay? Poshmark has 40 million unique. It's not even on the radar of this. But what we're saying is, do all these little companies, Mercari, Poshmark, Depop, OfferUp, LetGo, are all these things combined going to take over? And is it going to be more like seller democracy, where, you know, as a seller, you can click a button and it'll go on to all these platforms? Is that going to exist? I don't know what you guys think. Ty, what are your initial thoughts? Is eBay going to die a death of 1,000 cuts?
Yeah, personally, I hate eBay. I love them because you make the cash off them, but I really don't like eBay. They have too much power, man. They can, like you said, this is our business. This is our lifestyle. Especially if you're only eBay or only Poshmark or any of those major sites, they could take you down instantly, and then poof, you are gone. You really lose your business instantaneously, and they don't care. They really don't care anymore. You can call them up. Hey, this is Ty. They go, who is Ty? Like, no one. They don't care at all, man. They don't care.
Yeah, they can't care. There's so many people who sell on it. There's 680,000 eBay store owners. Imagine handling a glitch email for 500,000 times. Like, they're so big. It's like to the point where, just like Amazon, suspensions and restrictions, they happen by automation. Like, you are going to get your livelihood, your income shut off potentially. That's why it's so dangerous to only rely on one platform right now.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about eBay going towards Amazon's model and just taking out sellers? 'Cause, Amazon's trying to take out. They see you're selling a bunch of items. They will literally take your item because they have all the data, right? They have all the data on that stuff. They'll take your item and then just sell it for themselves, make it Amazon's.
I don't think eBay is going to move that direction because they are very profitable. So like, they just make the money from the fee from the transition. Like, Amazon is just burning crazy money, right? Because they're competing on all these different levels. It's insane. It's like a gigantic beast. Like, the only thing that would change eBay, in my opinion, is if Jeff Bezos, if they bought eBay, then it would change. Then it would be like all new stuff on Amazon, all used stuff on eBay. I can see him trying to take over like that. But and sort of like because there's the email that went out that said, what would you guys do if eBay wanted to do FBA? Would you guys fulfill your items through eBay? They're actually entertaining that idea. So are they going to go after the market? I don't think that they can. It's like Walmart is not even able to do it with jet.com. They're not even close to trying to figure out how to fulfill themselves. And judging by the global shipping program, that's scary. Like, they're trying to dabble. I don't know. I'm not sure. It feels like they're doing everything they can to prepare themselves. They're learning shipping with the global shipping program. They emailed a bunch of people to see if they'd be interested in eBay housing the items. But how do you house 1 billion listings?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's insane. It's so big.
It's just the SKUs on eBay. That's what makes eBay amazing, though, is they're so diverse and there's so many SKUs that are out there, right? Amazon, they're really those main things that sell really quickly. Other than that, it's harder. It's like you can't put something in Amazon FBA and it'll be sitting for months. But we can do that because we have our own warehouses, right? We're okay with making $1,000 off something that sits for 2 months, 3 months.
That's right. It's interesting. Connie is saying they're trying too many things at once, and that's one of the things that's interesting about eBay. They have basically every single vertical. Do you realize how insane that is? Like, to be a Craigslist or an OfferUp or a LetGo or Mercari or eBay and allow every single kind of thing to be sold. Like, people sell their virginity. People sell a piece of French toast that looks like a giraffe. Everything that you can think of can be sold on eBay. You have to make a platform that can support all of that. And also, you have to be able to make enough money to play referee so that you can give some people their money back, some people not. That's complicated.
True. Like, think about the referee part. Do you think that's a main aspect of eBay and that's why it makes it so profitable? Like, what are your thoughts? Or maybe the people in the chat, what do you guys think as well?
Do you guys think that I personally, what I think is that eBay should have no insertion fee. It should have a higher final value fee of like 14 or 15%. They should move the payment processing in-house like they are with Adyen, so that the credit card can be stored. So it's like, I want to buy this, done. Do you want to use your normal credit card? Done, right? And then I just think that they need to be able to handle it. There's an issue. See, Poshmark, I watched a keynote from Manish, the CEO, and he said, in Poshmark's lifetime, eBay has changed its pricing structure 13 times. Okay,
Really?
so imagine just in the last 5 to 10 years, there's been 13 new things that an eBay business owner needs to learn how to adjust to, right? Where he's like, I set it at 20%, it's very expensive, but I don't have to change it. I haven't changed the fees at all. It's been the same since we started. Like, I don't know how long ago. It's not that old. I don't think it's 10 years old yet, but they haven't changed the pricing at all. And at 20%, they have a little bit of money to referee. They can give both people their money back. But on eBay at 9%, I feel like that's a little slim. If the item is expensive, one person kind of has to lose. I don't know.
True. And plus, it's a seller's market too, right? The
Mm.
buyers have no power at all. And if they get cut off or you get banned or anything, you lose your livelihood. And eBay just doesn't care at all. They
Um,
don't.
I know. I just think that it's not only I just think they can't care. When you're that big, like, I don't even know how you monitor anything. It's
True.
insane how big it is. 14,000 employees control one app. Like versus like Poshmark has an app that's millions of users, but it's like 200 people versus
Mhm.
14,000. How do you even navigate? And all those people are working on something. So apply all those changes, you're going to get a big buggy monster. It's so big. I don't think it's so hard to understand what a billion listings is.
True. That's true.
Um, eBay needs to do them and let Amazon do them. I agree. I don't think eBay can play with the big boys, but the big boy. Actually, they're both huge. It's even hard to even compare it that way. But like Amazon does do it a lot different, and they're just, I don't know. It does. I do feel like Amazon is cleaner though.
True. It definitely is, right? Because they control the process though, and they're so strict and like non-lenient against anything. They can control the process down to the T. Everything's in-house too, right? That's kicker.
Yeah, that's true. And they are sellers themselves, so they're always designing it with the seller in mind. And
Mhm.
I feel like with Amazon, people are just scared that Amazon's going to cut them out, erase them from the picture. On eBay, people aren't as afraid of that. It's more like, stop changing it so I can just settle and work on my business in peace. But that's not really going to happen. I think if you want to be in a business that's not changing, don't be in e-commerce. You're the
True.
wrong
It's
industry.
changing every day, like you said, right? There's a bunch of new apps hitting us every time, right? We was talking about an app beforehand, right? They're trying to do the same thing as OfferUp, right? There's just everything is coming on that you have to change your platform every time, and if we don't change as sellers, we lose, right? If you're not consistently changing just your business model every day, in a sense, you're gonna get hit somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mary's made a good point that Amazon has the process locked. I mean, it's because they are actively involved.
Mhm.
If everyone at eBay had to sell on eBay, it would be, or if they just had larger eBay sellers on staff there, I think that the changes would get through a lot more clean. Because, like, for example, I think on the mobile app, tell me if you guys agree with this in the chat. On the mobile app, if there was business policies and a custom SKU, I could skip desktop completely. If I could just take the photos, upload the photos, go, I normally ship these three this way, my policy is this way, my returns, shipping, and payment is this saved, and there's a custom SKU, it would be amazing. That seems like very straightforward, but for some reason that doesn't exist on the mobile side. I don't get why you would have to re-enter all the stuff in again. If you put flat rate envelope, how does it not know what the dimensions are?
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
insane. It's not intuitive at all.
They're so worried about their profit that they're scared to move. I think that's what the problem they're having right now is they're so scared to really move that because they'll lose more profit or they're gonna get hit somehow. But it just hurts the sellers in the end.
Is it hot in my garage? It is, but I usually have the door open. Right now it's closed because it's really noisy outside for some reason, but it's not too bad. Let's see. I think when I'm looking at the ease of use for buyer and seller, eBay Open's coming up, but I'm gonna go check out the new technology. Hopefully they have some new improvements to the seller side and the buyer side. I I don't know what I think maybe they were first to market. Why do they have so much traffic? What is your
Mhm.
guess that a billion people look at it every month? That's insane.
Definitely. Well, it's a brand right now in a sense, right? You go to Amazon for your everyday items. You go for eBay to your unique or used items. I think that's what they're going at. If they try to really go after Amazon in the sense of new items, I think they're gonna get taken down, right? And they probably were the first to market and in a good time period, right? What was they do? At the peak of the Silicon Valley bubble, they were at the top of that, right? So they
Right.
could ride that wave down easily. Just they had a lot of cash coming in from VCs too, man. That you can really take on a lot of people and a lot of infrastructure, and you can hold that pretty easily.
Hmm. Everybody in the chat, hit the like button if you think that eBay is dying a death of a thousand cuts. It's there's not one player. In my opinion, I do not agree that one company can take down eBay. It just doesn't work that way. They're so big.
Mhm.
Lindsay, what's up? Thank you for joining us. They developed their name early. Yeah, I mean, that you can sell anything in any condition. They really own that market really, really, really well. But you made a point before our call, which is that there's a lot of power in sellers, and there's no way to really utilize it because the best platform has the best products.
True, right? And especially nowadays, there's so many out there, right? And you have that invisible hand. You can find the best price on those products, right? So if you go on, let's say you're on Amazon or eBay, and you type in Cutco peeler, right? You can find the cheapest price of that same item, or you can just Google search it, and you can find those items pretty easily. It's, but you said before, it's a death of a thousand cuts, and that's what we're hoping for in the near future.
I don't know if it's going to be democratized. Like Chris Cunningham in the chat says he's heard the doom and gloom of the end of eBay for 15 years, and maybe that's just the reality. If you have all the traffic still, you're not going anywhere, and they don't do very well in search, guys. If you type in for a product into Google, eBay is not always showing up on the first page. You're seeing other platforms, either they're buying that from Google and showing up higher, or they're just better at SEO, or they're better at conversion and Google likes them more. So they're not winning necessarily the search game. I think Amazon actually is still king for search, but
Mhm.
as far as traffic, just people log into the app and buy stuff. They're just used to it. I don't know. What do you guys think could be an improvement on the buying end of eBay? Because for me, I would say my biggest issue with the buying app is that I don't know when things are going to arrive. That's really like the main concern I have. I just assume a week or two. I don't know. What about you? Do you have an issue with the eBay buying app?
No, yeah, definitely. Like, I don't really buy too much on eBay as much. I try to do as much as I can, but um, you don't. Again, you hit on the point. You don't know what exactly it's going to be half the time, especially if they're newer sellers. You don't really know what you're going to get since you have no recollection for that. And again, the shipping time is insane. But they're trying to fix that, right? With did you opt into that seller, the faster shipping, whatever it was?
Yeah, I mean the guaranteed shipping.
Guaranteed shipping, yeah. So they're trying to fix that, but at the same time, do you actually really know? And is there really anything to keep sellers that honest with the shipping costs or shipping speeds? Here and there, I guess.
So the Reign of Fear is asking, do we recommend driving traffic to your listings through ads? For me, I recommend yes. If you are doing something a very competitive market, yes, you should pay to play. If you're also in a replenishable market, what you can do like me, I have replenishables in my store. I lose money on the first like 20 that I sell just to get the rank. And then I turn off ads and I raise the price because now I show up first, right? So now I have the ranking already. The traffic is there. So now I can make some money. So it depends on what you're doing. If you're selling one-offs, it's kind of pointless in my opinion because it's going to sell anyway. If you have a unique item, there's no reason. If you have a Ty sells guns and gun parts. If you have a gun part and there's two of them, you don't need to do any tricks of the trade. You have it. There's two available, and if 10 people want it, both of them are going to sell.
You get on top head, right? With the replenishables, it's complete one-offs, right? So it's if you're replenishables or if you're one-offs or if you're both, you got to kind of fit your business to that.
This is so true. So Poshmark, let's say, be like Posh. Do not allow sellers to mark items shipped before they are shipped. Make it not show up until it's actually scanned in the post office. That's absolutely true. So Poshmarks they've gamified shipping. So what they do is they give you, Ty, you ship in 1.2 days. And so you're like, oh, okay, 1.2 days. And that counts from when it's scanned in. So what happens is that as a normal person, you try to make that number lower.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. It's awesome. I have no idea how my eBay system works because the processes are not based on when it's actually scanned in. It's not easy to understand. It's like you're a few percentages late, but that's not an accurate representation. It should be how long does it take you to ship on average, in my opinion. I think that's a much better metric.
That's interesting, actually. That's really interesting. But on Poshmark, you're shipping only either first class or priority. There's no.
It's only
We ship a lot
priority.
of. Yeah,
They only have priority.
that's even better, right? Like for us,
Right.
we ship a lot of FedEx stuff, a lot of priority mail, a lot of first class. So like there's that wide variety, which you can't really tell.
You can set it up so it only updates when it scans. That would be fantastic. And then right now I'm having this issue. So I have a late pickup. So I finally convinced my driver to come pick up. Sometimes he picks up at 8:30 at night, right? So it's 8:30 at night. It's dark outside. He's not scanning. So what happens is I have a 2% late shipment rate, but I have 5% 5% tracking uploaded on time. Because what's happening is it's so late in the day, they are not scanning. So it's not scanning until after midnight, but it still arrives on time. Right. So this is very, very fuzzy. The midnight thing is totally antiquated.
Mm-hmm.
The system that they have right now doesn't make sense. You could potentially have a package arrive on time and still be penalized.
Which isn't right.
It's not right. It's broken. It's a very odd
Yeah.
system.
So how would you change it though? How would you if you made the next eBay or like we were talking before or whatever? Well, how would you build this out so that it would be very simple? Because I already got some tips for you, man. Like, so I'll rewatch this video. I already got some tips on how to build this better. But how would you build that shipping platform out? Would you do the same thing as Poshmark, or what would you take from other people as well?
So it has to be a scan form. There has to be a technology that can be, if you print out 5 labels in the morning, 5 labels in the afternoon, and then you're going to go to the post office to print a scan form for all 10 items. So when you go to the post office, they can scan one, scan all. The fact that that doesn't exist is so confusing to me on any of these platforms. It's not on Mercari. It's not on eBay. It's not on Poshmark. And that's all data. They can make that scan. How do they make the initial scan form? They should be able to do that for the multiple items so that the post office's job is easier. And then think about how much better of a buyer experience it is when every single item is scanned because it's easy for the post office. The post office hates eBay sellers because a lot of them don't know what they're doing when it comes to shipping. And then also packages aren't taped correctly. They're illegally using USPS priority shipping supplies. It's like not a good system, right? If they made it easier for like just one scan form, you show up, it says 10, they count, there's 10, done. You know, I just think it's odd that you would do it the other way.
Interesting.
eBay and PayPal have scan forms. It's just, is it Corey? I just want to be able to print one scan form for all the shipping that I'm about to take to the post office. That would just be easier, in my opinion. Yeah, relying on people is a big issue for the post office. There's no process where like it's required to be scanned a certain way. It's not commercialized like UPS and FedEx, unfortunately. If you use FedEx or UPS, the tracking is much better.
True. It's the government versus private, I guess.
Oh, I don't think that the post office could give large sellers a handheld scanner at their, that wouldn't work. Just because people would just game the system immediately.
Oh, yeah, you bet
That would not work. People are shady. That would not work. I want to be able to combine the scan forms in the one scan form consolidator tool that already is useful. If somebody wants to develop a tool that would work, somehow you could just plug 10 tracking numbers in and it'll shoot out one scan form. That would be sexy.
For like listing, what's a better way to list? Do you think too? Because there's like I think the mobile app's faster, but there's not this. Like you said, there's not the SKUs. That's what I'm taking from you. There's not the SKU. There's not any of those other items you can do. It's just one. It's kind of garbage in the sense that way, you know.
Okay, so this is how I would want to scan. I would create a barcode system for sellers. Okay, so everyone gets a barcode. So like for example, it's C88 is the bin that I have. So you could put a barcode on it, an eBay approved barcode, right? That's like whatever. So what you could do when you list is it has a barcode for the item and a barcode for the location. So what you would do is you would take the pictures, you would scan the barcode on the item, and you'd scan the barcode on the location, right? And then while that's loading in the background, right now the mobile app is dumb because when the photos are uploading, you can't do anything. You have to wait till the photos are done. On Poshmark, it's not like that though. They render the photos after the fact, so you can still work on it. So I get the photos uploading, I scan the location of where it lives and the item, then you're done. Now you know where every single item in your store is right there without having to type anything in. They can easily make that barcode system. Then I basically have a description that you could either just say, like describe it and then have it do the best it can and then you can correct it later, or have a template right there. You can select one of like 9 different ways you sell things. Very, very few people sell more than 10 categories. So you can have the template for a description template, your shipping template, your refund template, your refund shipping payment method. Done. That would be so fast. You could probably do a listing perfectly, know where it is. Oh, at the very end, it should say, how much did you pay for it?
Interesting.
And how much did you pay for it? And when did you buy it? That would totally crush it. Then they could issue like, this is exactly what your eBay business did. Just subtract what your mileage is, subtract how many square feet are in your house, done. Then all these eBay hobby businesses would turn from a hobby into a business because you would have visibility into what you're doing. It's so complicated right now. For example, they're like, oh, custom SKU is complicated. And it's not going to be used very often. So why would we have it? How about subtitle? How useful is that? That's in the mobile app. It's not there. In fact, that causes them headaches because people accidentally put a subtitle and then they got to call in and bog the eBay server down. Like, can you please give me my $2 back? They got to field that call. Right. And it's just like, I almost want to, if I could use the subtitle form and not have it charge me, I would put my custom SKU there.
Perfect.
But it doesn't work like that. So they already have all these things built in. It just doesn't. Rusted Raccoon is talking about 60, even with 60 categories, you could have a 1 through 60 template that you set up because you're a professional seller and you do the same thing every time. You could break your listing process down really fast. Also, there's no one thing that's really crazy with Poshmark and eBay, the way that I do it is I have to upload the photographs on my phone because the orientation is different. On eBay, you have to rotate the photos because it has this weird functionality. So when you take pictures, you need to have the home button on the right side. So you're taking it, even in square form, it can't recognize the orientation properly. It's really annoying when you try to transfer it. So it's kind of like most eBay business owners that I know use the desktop only.
Yep.
And that's just weird to me in a world that they're in Silicon Valley. Why can't the mobile app be better?
Exactly. So a little bit about what we're trying to do is we're building the website first, the web platform first, because then everybody can just transfer over and go directly to the web platform. And then we're building the mobile on top of that, right? So that's what we're trying to do and hit exactly what we're talking about. We'll talk about this after, but you hit some points in that we're trying to perfect. So just some interesting thoughts.
I'm super excited. I think that they are eventually going to fix this.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to fix it because it's very, very, very slow. Also, guys, you guys are asking about Poshmark. You wish Poshmark had a custom SKU. They don't, but they do have searchable descriptions. So like if you were to put in Adidas Boost in the title and then in the description, you type in D12 for where it's located in your store, you can type in Adidas Boost D12 in the title and it'll pull up your listing. It should be the only one on the site that has that combination. So you can search it. You can't search the description as easily on eBay. That's why you see gigantic sellers putting their inventory code in the title, which is a horrible experience for the buyer because they're like, what the hell is D1949? And then you have to explain to the customer, oh, that's just my way of keeping track. And then they'll respond back, well, isn't there a different way you could keep track so I don't have to look at it? And I'm like, there isn't on mobile. Sorry,
Mhm.
there's no on mobile. There's no way for me to tell where it is.
Do you
It's
use like a
insane.
third-party listing platform, or you just do it all on your phone, or do you just use a desktop right now?
Right now, there's two versions. I either do straight on phone all the way through, and I'm paying per piece, so it's not efficient for the worker, but it's the same cost for me since I'm paying per unit. Or
Mhm.
I separate the processes. Photos, they go into a folder, description goes into a spreadsheet, and then a virtual assistant plugs them together. That's how almost every single large seller does it, but it's just funky not having it be able to do it automatically.
Mhm.
Like right now, what I'm actually trying to do is I want to file exchange the title and the description into the wrong category listing. So this sounds funky, but like, let's say, for example, you're selling um, in the everything else categories, like what you would sell like your soul for, right? That would be that category. There's no
Yeah.
item specifics required in that category. So you could just upload a placeholder photo that says coming soon, the title and the description and policies into it. So all you'd have to do is drag the photos into it and hit submit. That would be pretty fast because you could at least create those drafts all at once. But
Mhm.
it's still not easy. And now they do have the predictive title, which is on Poshmark and eBay, where you type in the title and it'll guess what the item specifics are, and that's very useful, but doesn't work super well in bulk form.
Mhm. Interesting.
Guru is saying, is it why is everyone saying eBay is going to die? Mostly for views, to be honest. Like, because eBay is fine. Like they're
Yeah.
fine, but like no single platform is going to take over eBay. Honestly, that's why we're talking about all these platforms can make something that sells stuff. I mean, Ty and I could bang out a site that sells stuff in one weekend, but it wouldn't be very
Easily.
good. But it could be one of the 1,000 people cutting eBay.
Mhm.
It could be Taipei, and all you're on there is just, you can only sell skis, and people are like, oh, when you buy skis, don't use eBay, use Taipei. And you're going on there looking for skis, and it's they got the great selection. You trust Thai, and it would work. There's a bajillion websites doing that right now.
Mhm. Again, yeah. Will those, if you will, to like you said, Taipei or Crispay, whatever it is, will those beat eBay in the end? Because if you're searching for one thing that's used or one thing in general, will that end beat eBay because they're taking all that traffic or all that money from it? Because if you take eBay, if we can beat down eBay at least 50%, they will go bankrupt or have to raise more cash because they're so big and so bulky that it'll be very, very hard for them to hold on.
You know what I want to win? I want Google Shopping to win.
Why
I
not
want
Facebook
Google
shopping?
Shopping, like Google Flights is excellent. You type
Yes.
in your thing in the Google Flights, and it amount, it aggregates all the different websites and gives you a good idea on a flight. I just use it to book a trip to eBay Open, very easy to use. I want Google Shopping to do that. You type in what you want, it tells you the best website. So that allows Chris Bay, which sells only custom um, barbecue equipment. I can compete with eBay because Google will find it because I have the right item for the right price, and it can tell the consumer, forget eBay and Amazon. Go to Chris's Barbecue Deluxe. It's a fantastic site that has great deals. Like, I mean, I wish that there was something that could do that. I hope Google can put it together. I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen, but something that aggregates all shoppings is going to make it very democratic.
Mhm. It would be based on either performance or value, right?
Right.
But
And that
those are
being
the two
said, Ty,
values.
I like Best Match because that allows you to buy something from a trusted seller for more money, but they're going to get it to you.
Yep.
So I don't mind that. It's like you could buy from Chris Cunningham for $47, but you don't know him, right? Or you could buy from 50 from for $50, $3 more from a reputable seller with a warehouse and a robot, right?
Hmm.
But there's talks of like, I don't know. I just think it's very, very interesting right now. It's a really cool time to be in e-commerce, guys. Ty and I have sort of dedicated ourselves to to a lifetime of selling things.
Yep.
It's the truest form of entrepreneurship is just selling something.
100%. There's a video out there from Valuetainment. He says, if you want to change your life, go sell something, man. If you want to do this, go sell something. That's the end of it, is to transport a dollar and make it to $3. Do that. That's what I love about entrepreneurship and e-commerce. It's like you said, it's the time to do it. It's the time to do it.
Yeah, and if you find like a $1, you know, Coca-Cola sign in somebody's garage, is actually worth zero in their garage, not worth anything. You gave them $1, which is more than what they thought it was worth, which is zero, and you put it on auction and sell for $8,000 because a collector from the 1950s wants it in their man cave. It's worth $8,000 to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's no losers. It's winning all the way across the board. That's the most beautiful form of entrepreneurship. Now, sales gets a bad rep because what will happen is people will sell a counterfeit version, or something bad will happen, or what's presented is not what people get. Then sales gets a bad name. But that's not what salespeople want anyway. We want the exact amount that the people want to pay is what they get. I mean, unless you want returns. No one wants returns.
Yeah. It's capitalism, right? In just the general form. The market, what's the market bears.
See, let's talk about this for a second. Rusted Raccoon is saying, if you take care of your sellers, you'll always stay on top. I don't know if I agree with that, but maybe I agree with it. And the reason why I say that is, I'm in the Bay. Uber and Lyft have been battling since the beginning here. And Uber is like all about, let's get as many cars on the road as possible. And Uber will have the best network and we will win. And Lyft was like, no, let's just take care of our drivers. If the drivers don't quit, we pay them a reasonable amount of money. We're not only profit, then we will win in the end. And they both do really well. True. So I don't know. What do you think?
Dude, so listen to that. So one of my mentors, literally the guy who built the Apple Store, the OG, like Ron Johnson, OG. He told me two things. He sat down with a Harvard professor and he said, how do I build, his company's called Enjoy. How do I build my company? How do I give enough to my clients? And how do I give enough to my employees? The guy said, you can only pick one or the other. Either give to your employees or give to your clients. Do not do both. So he said, okay, I'm going to give everything to my employees. And now his business will be millions and millions of dollars just from that. And the employees love you. Just the way he interacts is it's something I've never seen before. But he gives everything to his employees. And it transmits to his clients.
Absolutely. Like, Ty, this is an interesting thing. One day I'd like to be with you to build something that can grow itself. Okay, like there's the freelancer entrepreneur. So a lot of eBay sellers are like this. You earn exactly what you produce. You go out, you find stuff, 50 to 100 items a week. You go home, you list them, you present them, you sell them. You're essentially, in my opinion, like an eBay freelancer, right? Nothing wrong with that. That's a normal eBay job. You're trading your time for money. It's just a job that you get to determine your own hours. And there's like little shops where you have a couple of employees. So now you've multiplied your time. You're helping, you have 2 or 3 people helping you, like myself, right? Now there's other operations where they have managers in place that are hiring buyers and hiring listers. And what you get there is you get companies like BHFO with 150 people listing and buyers looking for stuff to sell and gigantic $1 million robots to fulfill stuff. That's a business that even if they're not at work, it gets bigger because there's managers growing it. That's a very, very high level entrepreneurship. But again, it's all just a different version of buying something for $1 and selling it for $3.
True. Let me touch on that. It's pretty interesting. So like what you said, BHFO, right? That's the correct name? Yep. So we're trying to, like, personally, we're trying to do that. We're trying to, we call them sorcerers or like just like being like sorcery, whatever. And they're going out and buying stuff from garage sales and Goodwill, right? So that's what we're hiring on for right now. And then there's a next level where you find a massive company or whatever. So let's say you want to build businesses that go under, right? So you connect with those and you buy large sums. So that's what we're working on right now, is you're buying large sums of equipment, right? So we just bought $150,000 worth of product, right? So that's what we're doing now, is building these big sums, but it takes more work kind of like sourcing through them and getting those. And then there's those one-off big hits, which we're getting into now, is doing the real estate, right? So that's the one-off. You can make $100,000 in technically a day, right? If you list something and you that's sell it.
Mm-hmm. And that's literally when you start increasing your average sale price, you can increase the dollar amount. But like 100,000 transaction might be 1% of a $10 million deal. Mm-hmm. You don't know. Like it could be, and someone will say, "Oh, I would never sell something for 1% profit." What about a plane? If you sold a plane, would you be okay with 1% profit? I would. I would be okay
Oh
with
yeah,
1% profit on a $5 million transaction.
true.
So I don't know. Some people are like, I only make 100 times my money, and I'm like, well, it's like, but that's something like they buy it for 10 cents and they sell it for $5.
True. It's good when you get started.
It's a good way to get started.
Mhm. Yeah, if again you hit it on top of the head, man. If you want to do that, your time is going to be what you're leveraging. If you're trying to do that, the 100% profit or the 100 times profit, your time is what you're leveraging. Not really not your intelligence or other people's time. It's just your own time.
Everybody who's listening, please hit the like button. But I want you guys to think about 3 different numbers, and these really are the only 3 numbers you need. How much total amount, dollar amount, do you have stuff listed? Okay, so like if you're selling $10 million homes, you only need 1 item to make a lot of money. If you're selling $10 items, you may need 1 million of them to make a lot of money. So what's the total value? Okay, not how many items, total value, and then how fast do things sell? So is it 1 month? Is it 1 year? Is it 1 day? And then um, what's the last one? What's your profit margin on it? So if you think about those 3 numbers, you can adjust how many items that you have. But again, how many items you have doesn't really matter. If you sold one $10 million thing once every 10 years and made 10%, that's still $1 million on one deal. So I put that, like, what's your ideal way to make $5 million? And somebody put, get something for free and sell for $5 million. That would be the easiest way to do it, right? There is no easier way to do that. That's very straightforward. If you got a plane for free,
That'd be nice.
and sold it, that would be the way.
So,
Also, let's go back. Go ahead.
is your business, the larger you're getting, are your margins starting to decrease?
They're decreasing,
Yeah.
but I have more time.
Sure.
So like when I first started, I was probably around 40% margins, but this is actually straight across the board. My margin right now is 27% of my business, but there's 12% operating costs. It's this. It's like it was 40% before because I was doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really 40% because I didn't count my time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 27%, but literally I haven't listed an item in like 5 months.
So I love that.
I hate listing.
Same, man. Same.
This is so true. So like 90% of your revenue comes from the top 10% of the sales force. This is very important. The 80-20 rule works on everything, but this is so cool. So the top sellers usually do the most volume. Guys, so this is funny, right? So you're like, oh, I'm not a volume seller. I'm a person that only does home runs. The person that sells the most stuff has more home runs than you because they run into more home runs. That's like, oh, I'm not a volume seller. I focus more on total profit. I guarantee you the people who are moving millions of dollars worth of stuff net more. They have really, really high margins because you'll run into a ridiculous deal if you're just out there. You're gonna find a deal that you pay $1,000 for and sell for $4. That's going to happen if you're out there looking for stuff. And if you're only one person, you're gonna have such a small likelihood of running into a home run. That's just not true. The people who make the most money also usually have the highest margins. We're talking about just like small teams. Obviously, gigantic companies, they run at 1% margin, like Walmart, but they have 1 million employees.
True. As long as they can keep their overhead, they're chilling.
Goal is sell 6 cars on eBay by the end of the year. I like to sell 9 cars a year. What do you think, Ty? That I just stays under the radar for the dealer license here.
It's 6 in Arizona, but you can if your parents or if your family members have them, you can sell them for them technically, and
Okay.
it's still legal, which is nice.
There's still ways around it.
Mm-hmm.
You have a question. You were selling a lot of gift cards, and PayPal kicked you off. Gift cards are high risk, so PayPal doesn't like it. No companies like it. So it's hard. It's also a form of money laundering. So like people will buy gift cards to get money, to use the money, the dirty money, to turn in the real money and then sell it, to convert it back into real money. So it's scary. Like if you sell high volume of gift cards, they're going to be like, why do you have a high volume of gift cards? That's weird.
That's
You know what I mean? Because So they're sold for, you buy a $50 gift card at the store for $50. How are you selling them at 49? Right? Or 50 to get people the points? Like it's, it's high risk. They're scared.
Interesting. So, like, how many people do you know that have gotten banned from eBay and like kind of lost their business? Is that been a lot, or has this happened here and there?
I would say every single week, guys, somebody emails me that's lost their eBay account or their PayPal account. Like I was just talking with Prince. One of our friends was doing $3,000 a day on eBay and lost his PayPal account. So not his eBay account. So his eBay account's fine. One of the best. The eBay rep said this is one of the best eBay accounts I have ever seen. He lost his account because, or not, he didn't lose his account, but he can only accept authorized.net on eBay, which means he can't accept payments on mobile. So imagine that. You can't sell something on mobile and 80% of people look at their phone on mobile. That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
So scary. They said because I was selling too many, it wasn't giving others a chance to sell. That's a weird reason, but I think it's just high risk activity. If you're selling a lot of gift cards, it scares them.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, we talked about this beforehand about how do you keep monetizing? How do you keep growing and being focused? Like how is that happening for you right now? Talk about.
Guys, this is so interesting because you try to get distracted, right, as you grow, because there's so many opportunities for different things. Like yesterday, I went and visited this guy that had a $3.9 million apartment in San Francisco, right? And he's not even there. Like he was there just to hang out with us for a few hours, and then he doesn't even live there. He just is parking some of his money there. And I'm just like, I'm not thinking big enough. Like, how can you be at that level where that's just like that'd be like the equivalent of an extra pair of shoes for me, for him to buy that apartment in the city. And he only bought it because the Warriors are moving into San Francisco, and that piece of property is right by the stadium that's not built yet. So he's like going to turn 3.9 million into 5 million when they build the stadium, right? So it's just like there's just so many ways to make money. He's going to make $1 million on one deal.
That's insane. But again, it's just you got to run into those home runs, right? Like we said before, it's like he probably built that up, and then he'll hit those home runs more and more now. But that might not be a home run to him anymore. That $1 million might be what our $1,000 flip would be. You know?
That's right. And he may have put 20% down, put 800 grand down on that place, and maybe he'll just pay the mortgage, and then sell it for 5 million later and turn 600 grand into $1 million for a flip. That can happen, guys, if you know what you're doing and you really do the homework. Real estate is just a higher dollar amount, like we were talking about before.
But yeah, dude, like, took your headphones out. Okay. Yeah, real estate's on point. If you want to get big money, there's like a saying, the most millionaires are made by real estate in a sense, but it's finding those real estate deals, which is becoming harder and harder. Me and Chris talking about this before. I'm becoming a real estate agent just for the deals.
Go ahead.
Was I breaking up?
Yeah, go ahead. Repeat that.
Yeah, so what it's about finding if you want to go to real estate, which I'm trying my license in right now, I have 2 more classes, which is nice, is just finding those real estate deals. But there's a saying that the most millionaires made is from real estate, because you're dealing with 100,000. Like, there's really no houses in Arizona that are really under $250,000, right? 6% of that times that by, let's say you do 50 of those a year, that's a lot of cash. That's a lot of cash you're just turning and turning and turning.
Absolutely. Margins start to not matter as your dollar amount starts to go really high.
Mm-hmm. So what are your plans to move up to like the big hits? What are you trying to do to get those like to move up to, let's say, 10, 20, 30 million in sales?
So for me, I have decided that I want a $1 million a year revenue hobby eBay business. So I want that to just live in a 2-car. So this is the grand scheme. I want to buy a duplex, rent out one side of it to pay for the mortgage, put down whatever the difference is to buy it, and then have the rent from one side pay for the whole thing. Run the $1 million eBay business out of the 2-car garage, which is not going to be used because I want to Airbnb it. So people who are traveling don't usually need the garage. So I want to have the $2,000 in rent is what I want to pay for the eBay business to go back into the real estate company. So I want my eBay business to live in a duplex that I own that earns income, and probably in the beginning live in the other half of it for now, because right now I need to babysit that a little bit, and then after that I want to use the time. I want two people doing all the listing, shipping, everything except for buying, and I want to have scouts bring the stuff to the people. So I want that income forever because I like it. I like the raw. This is what Gary Vee says. He still loves trading baseball cards, or just the raw nature of entrepreneurship at its purest form. Then I'll work on other stuff, like maybe we can put together some software, maybe we can work on other deals. It's all about like networking, meeting people, increasing my skills. And I totally screwed up my 20s, guys. So Ty, how old are you?
24.
Yeah. So you guys have noticed a lot of the people I talk to on my channel are super young, like Ty. Prince is 24. Other people that are awesome that I hang out with are usually in their 20s. And the thing is, in my 20s, I was so focused on making money that I screwed up. I should have been focused on developing skills. So right now, all I'm doing is working on developing skills, and I've never made so much money ever. Right. But when I was focused on making money, I didn't make anything. So it just doesn't work that way. It's all based on how much value you're delivering. It's so weird, but that's why I
Why
recommend.
do you think that?
Because
Why do you think that happened?
I think when you're focused on skills, you're focused on other people. Like
Mhm.
your skills have to monetize. You have to be able to do something that people care about, right? You have to be able to sell something that people want. When I do eBay reviews on stores, most of the reasons why your store sucks is because you don't have anything in your store that people want. That sounds so dumb, but it's not possible to sell PlayStations at a discount and not have high sales.
Mhm.
Not possible. You could have no pictures and no description. You could put PlayStation and spell it wrong and have two pictures, one of the actual one and the second picture of the receipt, okay, and sell thousands of them because people believe you have it. They're like, wow, this guy's really dumb. He's selling a PlayStation for $10 below market, but he has the receipt. You would kill it with no strategies, no coupons, no promotions. It's just you have what people want. So if you're working on skills, and like for example, I try to make these YouTube videos as useful as possible, so you can take one nugget of it. Like hopefully this video convinces you to not just sell on one platform. Learn other platforms, learn the skills. For me, I within like I'm not gonna like toot my own horn, but like I'm going to for a second. I have like a 6-figure Poshmark business because of the skills I have from eBay already, right? So it's like that I just transferred those skills to a different platform. If both of those platforms are gone, I'm gonna start Shmerkari and I'll be fine. I already know how to do it. I'm excited. It's all about just skill development.
But if you could list to one, like if you could get all those platforms in one thing, would you be interested in it?
Yes, because that's the click a button and get the most visibility. It's all about traffic and what you have. So if you have the
Mhm.
best thing in the world and no one knows you have it, doesn't work,
Mhm.
right? So if you're trying to sell, for example, let me give you an example of a clothing brand, St. John's. It's like a sort of a career woman type apparel. It's expensive. Career women buy it. You can sell for big money. You would, in my opinion, you would sell it on eBay because it has more traffic. You have more
Mhm.
opportunities to sell it to that clientele. Poshmark is smaller, but if you're just selling stuff that's cheap, like I would say under $60 is just like an affordable piece of clothing. Under $60, you may want to go for Poshmark because it's easier to list and it has enough traffic to move that piece of clothing. And also there's no returns. So you have to decide what platform do you want to be on. And when you learn a new platform, you get to transfer all that knowledge in. And my eBay store has been awesome. It doubled in productivity, profit as soon as I started Poshmark because I started learning, wow, Poshmark has a strike through on MSRP on every single item. That's a really good buyer experience. A customer's like, oh, this shirt's about $95. This person's asking 30. Okay, I'll buy it. On eBay, it says 5% off sale from 32.50 to 30. That doesn't seem like a good deal.
Yeah,
That's
interesting.
confusing. You have no idea what it's worth. So it's fuzzy.
You talked about some of the skills that you're trying to learn. What are those? What are some of those skills that you're working on?
Okay, so the number one skill for me that I'm working on is getting somebody else to do what I'm going to do. So, as an example, I wrote down how to print labels for Poshmark. So, this is how I have it set up. For you guys that are wondering how I outsource something, so I put click on my sales, click on each individual sale, open click 3 easy steps to ship an item, confirm that the item that is being sold is the same one as the one that's already packed. So you double check to see if it's the right item. You click download label, you print the label, Control P, you hit enter, you hit Control Q again. Now you affix the label that just printed onto the box, then move it to the right in the USPS bin. And from here, I'm going to push the bin out to the driveway where the post office guy comes. So I could do the whole business without moving. I want to just sit right here and do the whole thing. So now somebody who can walk off the street and learn how to print a label with this piece of paper and a video. They can watch me do it on a video, watch this step, and then I never need to do it again. That's the skill that I'm trying to learn, and it applies to literally everything. I'm doing it like I'm learning how to make almond milk. I want to know the exact recipe. I'm counting how many almonds in it because I just want it to be a certain way. And I'm just actually, to be honest, I'm really enjoying this part of trying to get somebody else to do it like me. And to be honest, I can't list as well as my lister.
Okay.
I can't. He's better at it. He's better at taking photos. He's better at cleaning items. He's better at putting items away. He has better handwriting. I mean, like I can't do it like him. He does it so often. He's already listed just coming up on 6,000 items for me. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So if you list 6 items an hour, if you're counting everything, prepping, putting away, that's 1,000 hours of my life I got back by giving it to him. So that's the skill that I want. Outsource the stuff that you don't want to do. Grow. Also, the thing that I really want to talk about before we hop off, guys, if you're enjoying this conversation, please hit the like button, is growth doesn't fix your business. So you can't fix your business by growing it. If you can't repeat it, it's not a business, it's a hobby. Even if you do $1 million in sales and you can't repeat it or explain how you're doing it to somebody, then it's not a business. It's just a hobby. Like if you want to open a Subway, it's the same no matter what. It's always the same. That's a business. So I really want to move that way. So they're talking about eBay services. Suzanne Wells is a nice lady. I've talked to her. She has an eBay listing service. You can do the same thing by yourself if you just go to upwork.com. I think she charges $2 or $3 a listing. I pay 40 cents. Okay, so there's a difference between the 40 cents and $2 where she profits. That's how it works. And God bless her because she can explain to you how to do it if you're too lazy to do that. You have to go to Upwork by yourself, use sticky notes, and train somebody from not knowing how to do anything to doing it for you. Or you can just pay her $2 and they'll do it for you. So that's what the advantage of having money is, because you could just, let's say, Ty, you had $1 million and you wanted to start an eBay business. You could just hire me to manage your eBay business and be done.
Easily. Yeah, exactly.
You do nothing. You didn't have to learn eBay at all. You could be like, I don't know how to log in. I have $1 million eBay store.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the Ryan Daniel Moran. He has no idea like how to prepare an FBA shipment, but he does like 10 million a year. So it's like that. I'd rather be that guy. I don't know how to do it, but I have my bank account's really big. I'd rather be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it's funny.
Do you think you have to go through the process? Like if you had $1 million to build your own company, did you have to go through the process of building $1 million company beforehand? Because I think if you had $1 million, that's why a lot of winners have struggled so hard with like keeping that money. It's because they just go here, gone. You know. So do you think you have to kind of like do that first and then figure out different platforms to do it on, and then hire somebody to make it for different platforms, or they can just take advantage of you in the sense?
I think you do need to learn how to do it on a small scale if you want to properly own a business. Like you should be able to make one Subway sandwich, right? And then and here's the thing, like, how do you choose to open a Subway when you could open a KFC or a McDonald's? You know, like how do you even pick? You just gotta have, like, in my opinion, a little bit of passion for what category you pick. Like for me, I would rather open a KFC. I think that's more cool. I don't know, guys in the chat, if you're going to open a fast food restaurant, which one would you open? Personally, if I could pick one, I would pick Chipotle. I think it runs super clean, man. If I was going to pick one, or maybe In-N-Out.
I'd go Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Chick-fil-A. I forgot about Chick-fil-A.
You messed up, man.
Chick-fil-A might be the top one. That's so good. You know when you say thank you, they say my pleasure?
Really?
Are you guys familiar with that? Yeah, they don't say you're welcome. They say my pleasure at Chick-fil-A. Popeye's chicken. Forget, no way I would open a Popeye's chicken. Chipotle, Five Guys is good. In and Out. Vanny doesn't eat fast food. I didn't ask if you eat fast food. I'm asking if you were to open one, which one would you pick? Let's see. In and Out. In and Out, there's a billionaire woman that runs it. It's privately owned.
Mm-hmm. Isn't like the granddaughter or daughter of the original owner or something like that?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Insane. Starbucks. Starbucks is a great one too. Would you?
Oh yeah. That's a lot of cash to run to that place.
Kale Me Crazy Smoothie Bar. Oh, Kale Me Crazy. That's a great one. That's like the kale, kale you. Oh, the kale shirt in the Yale writing. I love it. What's up, Amanda? You're watching from the UK. It's the same thing there. I love the UK. I think it's awesome. Like I love selling antiques. Again, if money is not an issue, like I don't think Ty and I would ever get bored of, no matter how many millions, of walking through a flea market or an antique market in England. Like I'm Portable. Oh my God, it's so fun. So fun.
Crazy. Crazy.
So fun. I want to look it up. And if someone says this teacup is $400, I want to know why.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. I want to know the history. You know, whose fingers did it touch? Jamba Juice, El Pollo Loco. I've actually never eaten El Pollo Loco, even though they have them here.
Neither have I.
So Janaya, you're 14 years old. You want to be a reseller. I wish I had started reselling when I was 14. So I interviewed a girl named Lexi. She's 14 years old too. And what she does is she does her homework, then she does 10 listings, and she does kid stuff, then she goes to sleep. And she's like, I have low overhead. I live at home. And I'm like, I didn't even know what overhead was when I was 14. But she's like, if I make $1 profit, I get to keep $1 because my parents pay the tax. It's just funny because it's so different as a kid. You have no bills.
Mm-hmm.
But she just got into it. It's hard. Like, and what I would recommend is you probably have a parent help you. What do you recommend for someone who's like a young teenager?
Yeah, definitely have your parent help you. Go to those garage sales because if you're a kid, you get some cheap prices. Wow. Just use the kid charm. Can you get $1 for this? Like $30. You go, yeah, just take it. Just take it.
I know. Chick-fil-A. Let's see. I am in the Bay Area. England is super fun for your husband. Yeah. Qdoba. We don't have them out here. I've been there before though. Did I live in the Bay Area ever? I live in the Bay Area now, but only for the last 8 years. Yep. So Ty, anything else you want to talk about? I do think that the Internet of Everything is coming, right? It's a long ways away. eBay is not dead. It has 1 billion unique visitors. It's fine, but over time, I think it will flatten out.
Yeah. So what my job is just to make it easier for the sellers, right? That's what I'm trying to do. And if we can make it easier for us to do big things, or even take control from take control of our own destinies in a sense, so we don't get banned by eBay, that'd be awesome. And that's what our goal is, right? 4 sellers, 2 sellers.
That's right, guys. Please sell on more than one platform. Learn the skills required. And there are 6 systems I always talk about. If you guys have a pen, write this down. It's just basically buying stuff. You have to learn your accounting. You have to learn how to describe it. You have to learn how to photograph it. You have to learn how to pack it safely. You have to learn how to ship it. I also do bookkeeping. That's it. If you learn those skills, you can run a reselling business on any platform. That's it. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's the same thing as selling in person, online. It's all the same. You have to learn how to make people want it and then sell it. And you have to learn to buy stuff that people want. All that. Very important, guys. Thanks to everyone for stopping by. Please hit the like button and subscribe to Ty's channel, which is in the description below. You can reach out to Ty on Instagram. Where else can people find you?
Instagram, YouTube, on our website. One of our websites is witheasenow.com. It's our state website. You have my email and everything. Give me a shout out, holler. I can answer any question you guys have. If you want to get into any of the stuff we're into right now, just let us know. We're more than willing to help.
Peace, guys.
Thanks, guys.